It was one of those evenings that felt like time itself had slowed down, as if the world outside didn't matter anymore. The small cafe was lit with golden lamps, their glow wrapping everything in a tender embrace. She sat across from the woman she loved, fingers lightly brushing against hers over a steaming cup of coffee. Their laughter melted into the air, soft and unguarded, the kind that only comes when two souls feel at home in each other. Every shared glance was a quiet promise, every touch a reassurance that love, real, gentle love, was alive between them. For them, it wasn't just about holding hands, it was about holding on to a piece of forever. Every little detail of that evening, the warmth of the mug in her hands, the sound of rain tapping gently on the window, the way her partner's smile lit up the room, was etched into her heart. In that moment, love wasn't grand or complicated. It was simple, honest, and pure. They didn't need extravagant gestures to feel complete. The comfort of being together was more than enough. The world could be uncertain, sometimes unkind, but here, in this perfect beginning, they had built a space of safety and joy. It was a love that whispered instead of shouted, a love that healed instead of hurt, a love that reminded them both that happiness could be found in the smallest, most ordinary moments. That night, as they walked out into the cool evening air, hands still intertwined, she realized something she would never forget. True love doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. It often starts quietly, in the warmth of a shared laugh and the tenderness of simply being seen. Love has a rhythm, soft and unspoken, that two souls learn to dance to. But sometimes, without warning, that rhythm falters. She sat curled up on the couch, her eyes glued to the glow of her phone screen, laughter slipping out now and then laughter that no longer belonged to both of them. Just a few feet away, her partner watched quietly, heart heavy with words she couldn't form. Her gaze lingered, searching for the warmth that used to flow so effortlessly between them. It wasn't the silence that hurt, they'd shared silences before. It was the absence hidden in that silence. The woman holding the phone seemed present, yet miles away. Every scroll of her thumb deepened the space between them. Every distracted smile felt like a barrier rising higher. The one watching tried to understand, tried to convince herself it was nothing, just a passing mood. But her chest ached with the quiet truth. Something was shifting. And she couldn't name it, couldn't grasp it, only feel it pressing against her in the stillness of the room. She longed for those moments when laughter came in twos, when conversations stretched into the night, when love was not something questioned, but lived. Yet now, all she could do was watch the person she adored drift into another world, one she wasn't invited into. The distance wasn't measured in steps across the room, but in the fragile crack growing between their hearts. And in that moment, she realized love isn't always broken by fights or harsh words. Sometimes it slips away quietly in the silence, in the distraction, in the longing eyes of someone still holding on. The secret unveiled. Love often feels eternal, like a flame that can never die out. For two souls bound together, every shared laugh and whispered promise becomes a piece of forever. But sometimes, forever shatters in a single breath. This is the story of a heart that believed too deeply, only to be broken by the truth it was never prepared to face. A moment of discovery. She never planned to uncover the secret. It wasn't curiosity, nor mistrust, it was simply chance. A forgotten phone left unlocked, a message that appeared without warning. Her eyes froze on the glowing screen, reading words that weren't meant for her. Affection that was once hers alone was now written for someone else. Her heart pounded, her hands trembled, and in that instant, The world she thought she knew turned into something unrecognizable. The shattering truth. The air felt heavy, as if every breath was laced with betrayal. Memories rushed back, the promises, the late-night talks, the warmth of gentle touches. All of them felt tainted now, painted over with lies she hadn't seen coming. And when she later caught sight of her girlfriend, laughing softly with another woman, eyes shining in the way they once shone only for her, the pain became unbearable. It wasn't just the sight, it was the realization that love wasn't enough to keep the truth hidden anymore. When trust breaks, her heart ached not just for the betrayal, but for the love that still lingered, unwilling to let go. Tears welled, not only for what was lost, but for the innocence of believing that love alone could withstand everything. The secret was unveiled, and with it, the fragile beauty of their world was gone. Love is often a place of comfort, but sometimes it turns into a battlefield of emotions. In this moment, silence weighs heavier than words. One partner, her voice trembling, finally breaks under the pressure of betrayal. Her eyes are red, filled with tears that refuse to be contained, and she whispers the question that echoes louder than any scream. Why? The breaking point. The question is simple, yet it carries the weight of shattered trust and stolen dreams. The room feels smaller, suffocating with memories that once brought laughter but now sting like open wounds. She isn't just asking why her partner strayed, she is asking why promises faded, why love wasn't enough, and why the person she trusted most became the reason for her pain. Guilt and silence. The other stands frozen, guilt carved into her expression. She wants to speak, but every word dies before reaching her lips. She is torn, caught between the truth of her mistake and the undeniable love still burning in her chest. Her silence isn't emptiness, it is a storm of regret, a desperate wish to turn back time, and an aching realization that love, once broken, is almost impossible to mend. Love amidst ruins. The confrontation is raw, heartbreaking, and human. One seeks answers that may never heal her wounds. The other battles with remorse she can't erase. This is not just a moment of anger. It is a collision of love and loss, a reminder that even the strongest bonds can falter when honesty fades. And in that room, with hearts breaking in unison, both realize that sometimes love survives, but sometimes it simply leaves scars that last forever. There comes a moment in every love story where silence speaks louder than words and distance cuts deeper than any fight. In this chapter, their story reaches its most fragile edge. She stands frozen, heart trembling, watching the woman she once called her everything slowly walk away. The weight of unspoken apologies and unanswered questions hangs heavy in the air, but neither dares to break the silence. Love had been their anchor, their shelter against storms, but even the strongest bonds can unravel when trust is shaken and wounds run too deep. One turns her back, carrying memories that burn like fire yet feel impossible to hold on to. The other stands rooted, eyes filling with tears, body trembling under the weight of what's slipping away. Every step that widens the distance feels like tearing a page from the story they promised to write together. She whispers her lover's name in her mind, but her voice never escapes her lips. Because sometimes, even love is powerless against the truths that divide hearts. The breaking point isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, the sound of footsteps fading, the silence of goodbye unsaid. It's the pain of knowing you still love her, yet letting her go because holding on hurts more. And there she stands, shattered and alone, watching the horizon swallow the woman she once believed she'd spend forever with. This moment doesn't erase the love they shared, nor the tenderness they once held in each other's arms. But it reminds us of a truth we all fear. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes